from ABC News. U.S. Olympic and Paralympic officials bar trans women from competing in women's categories. That is massive. Trans women will no longer be eligible to compete in the U.S. in the Olympic or Paralympic Games in women's categories after a recent policy change from the U.S. Olympic and Paralympic Committee. Now, the question is, what about other nations?
Well, the thing is that other nations will have to comply if they want to compete in the United States.
Good.
I like it for the Olympics.
Interesting.
Yeah. So
perhaps
that's
2032, there'll be only guys. Like if they go to a different country.
If you go to a different country.
If they go to like France or something.
Or because Pakistan will load their team, their women's soccer team, full of fellas.
Why not?
That's what they do. They already do that.
Really?
Yeah.
Pakistan does this?
Pakistan has, I'm pretty sure Pakistan has men on the women's.
Really?
They would allow that?
Either that or it was a parody and I fell for it. But I'm pretty sure that it was Pakistan.
Well, they prefer trans people to homosexuals, correct?
Well, Iran forcibly
Iran,
transes people.
Yeah, I'm only saying this because it has to do with Islam, and if I understand correctly, what?
Yeah, Shia Islam. They basically say you can,
So Shias, but not
Shia
Sunni?
Islam, not Sunni from what I understand.
Oh, okay.
Only in Iran, that's it, yeah.
All right. Well, I mean, and is Pakistan Shia or Sunni?
I don't know. I'm not sure. I know they do it in Iran. I don't know if they're in Pakistan.
Okay, I'll Google that and find out.
But yeah, so the IOCC used to say that males who had a certain measure of testosterone were allowed to compete on women's teams. But Trump said absolutely not in the United States. So that's why the U.S. Olympic and Paralympic Commission had to change their rules, because otherwise American athletes wouldn't be able to compete
Pakistan
in the
is
US
Sunni.
Olympics.
So GPT says there are no publicly known or confirmed trans women competing on any women's soccer teams, but maybe it's hallucinating.
It's possible.
Well, common sense is back and it's winning. And I'm excited for that, at least at this point, because previous administration would have never even fought for this. So
They would have fought against it.
Yeah.
They would have fought to make sure the whole team was nothing but dudes.
Isn't it crazy? And they call themselves the party of women's rights. It's the complete opposite. And for some reason, they've been able to brainwash so many people into accepting
Well, it's reverse chess, right? It's like, what do the Democrats want historically? You know, if you go back to the Civil War, this is a time when women didn't vote. They were in the home and they had slaves. So what are Democrats doing right now? They're claiming to fight for the welfare of the black community, instead promoting policies that just keep them impoverished and struggling. They say that they want rights, but then demand to have foreigners with no rights clean their bathroom floors. And now they're allowing men in women's sports, which is pushing women out, which will return women to their place. And they want women to be drafted.
Yeah, I think that the interesting thing about trans and how so many lefty women got suckered into that whole thing is because women are,
Agreeable?
stereotypically more agreeable. So if a big man in a dress comes in and tells you, I'm a woman now, the women are going to be like, oh, okay, we'll do what the big man in a dress says. And what they will forget is that feminists are supposed to be not agreeable, right? Like, I remember talking to my friends about this we were all feminists, and I was like, why are you going along with this? Like, we're supposed to be the disagreeable ones. Why are you just saying yes?
Yeah.
Makes no sense.
And there's no argument for it. There's never any clear argument on their behalf as to why we should be doing this. Well they
there's
think
a
that
lot
they're
of
women.
and there's a lot of them too that don't believe that men are women, but go along with it anyway because of the aforementioned agreeableness.
Do you really think that that's the situation, that women actually don't think it, but they don't feel like they can stand up and say it?
I think that is true in an enormous amount of cases. I know that my friends who I was working in, feminist theater collective with, they all agreed with me that men are not women, but they definitely did not feel like they could say that out
How long
loud.
ago was
Because
that?
men would beat them.
Yeah. Well, that was 2018.
Okay, so that wasn't actually very long ago. Do you think that...
Meanwhile, 7 years before that, when we were doing a show like making fun of trans and abortion and surrogacy and adoption and organ harvesting in 2013, when we did that show, they all openly agreed with me, and it wasn't an issue.
Do you think that there's a fear of being associated with the right wing with women that you would be in that kind of...
I think it really is a lot more simple than that. I think it's you don't want your friends to yell at you at cocktail parties. You still want to be
But if you,
invited to all the things.
the point that I'm making is, if you are a right-leaning person, then those things don't happen to you generally.
Right. Have
So-
you seen those memes that's like, you guys are a lot of fun. We're not leftists.
Go on, please.
Well, that's the meme. It's like people boating,
Okay.
you know, and then someone will be like, you guys seem like a lot of fun. And the people on the boat will be like, that's because we're not leftists.
Because I imagine that women would voice their opinion, and the reason that more women have actually started to voice their opinion now is because they're getting support from more people that are
Right. What did it
center
take?
and right leaning.
It took J.K.
Donald Trump
Rowling.
winning.
No, it took J.K. Rowling.
Yes. And look what they did to her.
Right. And
Okay.
she came out, so she came out in December of whatever the year that was and said, you know, like, go to bed with whoever will have you, but men aren't women, basically. But the previous June, she had come out and basically said something similar. And her PR rep was like, oh, no, she's just old and she doesn't know what she's saying. And she backed off it.
My favorite thing was how J.K. Rowling was on board with all of it for a while, like saying, actually, Hermione Granger was black. And then she was like, I
Although
think,
that holds up in the books.
yeah, because she's like, she's got frizzy hair, right? That proves it. And it's like, oh, shut up.
Yeah.
Come on. Stop constantly. And then what did you say? Like some character, Dumbledore's gay. And it's like, oh, come on. And then she made him gay. And it's just like, ugh. We get it, lady. But then they came for her identity. And then she had to come out. Now, with all due respect, I do appreciate she stood up to the woke psycho mob and everything. But, and you know, to be fair, when would you expect someone to actually become a prize to the threats faced by wokeness? Certainly when it affects them and they feel it and they see it. So it is good that she spoke up. And man, what did they do? They had like a Christmas special and they disinvited her or something.
Yeah, she was not part of the Christmas special on HBO.
And even to
she
this
is
day,
part of the new series.
Rupert Grint, I'm pretty sure it was like Emma Watson, Rupert Grint, and Daniel Radcliffe have like basically insulted her.
Yeah, but Draco Malfoy, whatever that actor's name was,
Tom
he was
Felton.
like, whatever, J.K. Rowling is great. She gave me a great career, and I support her entirely. Rupert Grint has had no career.
That's not true.
Really? What's he been
He's
in?
been in a bunch of stuff.
Has he?
Yeah.
He sucks.
Really? I mean, I like him. You know, Tom Felton, the great actor Tom Felton.
I
of
like
course.
him. Yeah.
He was on the CW in I think The Flash, and he is now doing the Broadway. What is he doing? He's doing he's playing Draco Malfoy again.
Is he in? He's in the Harry Potter and the Children's Curse thing or whatever that is.
I think so. The stage show. He's back to being adult. He's now adult Malfoy, and he's returned to what is that? Harry. I don't know what it's called. I don't know.
Oh, he was in a couple of things. Rupert Grint. Yeah, I think he's awful.
He plays guitar. I did not know that.
I don't know anything about Harry Potter.
Yeah, I'm out on this one.
Keanu Reeves is starring in a Broadway show right now with Alex Winter.
Keanu Reeves?
Yeah, they're basically reprising Bill and Ted's, except with
Not the weird woke garbage.
yeah,
that ruined
with,
it.
well, no, they're doing Samuel Beckett's Waiting for Godot, but they're doing the okay.
I'm sorry. I'm not familiar with
This is one
Broadway
of
at
the-
all.
No, it's not. It's not a Broadway. It's like not even a Broadway show.
Oh, okay.
It's like this weird old avant-garde show about two guys waiting for somebody. And they just wait the whole time. And then at the end, I'm not giving anything away.
See, you know, I got to defend
I won't give it
I got to
away.
defend old
I'll
Rupert
let Tim
Grint here. You know, I was talking to the missus about that song "Drops of Jupiter," the band Train, and I said, I was like, yeah, it's a huge song. It's like, oh wow, you know, I never knew that it was Train, and then my wife was like, well, I mean, what did they have, like 2 songs? So you know, what do you really know by them? And I was like, which one? She was like, I think it was Hey Soul Sister, right? Is that what it's called? I'm like, yeah. And I'm like, I'm pretty sure that's not true. And I bet they have a ton of hits. And then we looked it up and they have like 50 top Billboard
really?
songs. Like not literally 50. I think they have like 17. They have Hey Virginia, Calling All Angels, Drive By, Hey Soul Sister. Like their Train is massive.
Huge.
Huge. And I was like, I never knew I actually liked this band. I had no idea that it was the name of the band. And everybody knows those songs. So anyway, there's a lot of issues where, like, you would say Rupert Grint's not in anything, well, because you don't watch the things that he's in. But if you pull up his filmography, he's been in a
Yeah, he's
ton
been
of
in
stuff.
a ton of stuff.
Yeah, nonstop.
I think part of that is that the
He was in that movie. What was that movie that?
Guillermo del Toro movie.
He was in that, but he does all the M. Night Shyamalan stuff.
Oh yeah, I would never think he had a career based on that because I never watch any of those.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What was the latest one? Oh, actually, that one wasn't bad. What was that movie?
Is this Knock at the Cabin? I'm looking at his IMDb.
Yeah, I think that was it. I wouldn't call it like, you know what, to be honest, it's one of the better M. Night Shyamalan movies.
Is it?
Yeah.
Yeah, we haven't really had much of a collective culture in the past 10 or 15 years. It's hard to know like what even the most popular things are because the level of popularity of the most popular things is so degraded from what the level of popularity had been.
Do you remember when the Khaleesi stepped out of the burning hut naked and everything on fire?
No.
You don't remember that, Phil?
I never watched
Serge knows.
it was Game of Thrones, right?
It was crazy how every Sunday when a new episode of Game of Thrones came out, everyone on Twitter was tweeting about the episode. And then when Daenerys Targaryen, she kills, what's his name, Drago or whatever, I don't know, it's been so long, it's been a decade. She knocks the fire, everyone burns to death, but she can't be burned. And then she walks out, everything's on fire, and they're all screaming and dying. And that's how the episode ended. The fire emoji was trending. Everybody was just blasting fire emojis on Twitter. And it's kind of interesting because far leftists, corporate press, and anti-establishment personalities were tweeting with each other, talking about the show, and that stuff is unifying, but we don't have that anymore.
No, that was a cool thing about Game of Thrones. So it was so cool, in fact, that I tried to watch Game of Thrones, and the violence within the first, 15 minutes was enough to... Because I was a new mom at that point, and there's you just can't really handle violence against children and stuff when you're a new mom.
enough.
Can't do it.
There's nothing unifying anymore. There's no issue where some, liberal new journalist and some MAGA guy are going to tweet at each other and be like, yeah, that was awesome, like a rock band or something. It's just completely bifurcated.
When I was a kid, at the next day in school, we'd all be talking about literally the Cosby Show or, whatever the shows were. There was must see TV on NBC. And if you hadn't watched the shows, you were out of the loop. You didn't have anything to talk to your friends about at lunch because we all watched the same TV. We'd talk about that and what we had for dinner. Because we were very exciting.
It's a whole 9 yards.
Yeah, that was it.
I wonder how we emerge from this, right? Maybe we can't. If you go back in time, you have a little village. Everybody's talking about the same thing. They go to church. They talk about the same thing. They go back home. Little girls and little boys grow up together, believing the exact same things, living the lives exactly that their grandparents live, farming or, rudimentary jobs in a small village.
Except for those black sheep who break off, go to London. Yeah.
Sure, these things happen. But then you'd end up with the boy and the girl would grow up wanting the exact same things around the exact same people, knowing each other their whole lives. They'd get married and have kids, and then the process would repeat. But we largely believed the same things. Mm-hmm. And so it's interesting when you hear these stories about the jihad or whatever the religion may be. A violent religion comes, puts you on the ground, puts a knife to your throat and says, denounce your religion. That's basically saying, reject everything you know to be true. It's telling someone to rapidly alter, and some people did and some people didn't. Now, no one believes anything.
No.
So even next door neighbors completely disagree. How do we function as a society when you're going to walk outside your house, especially with the AI stuff that's coming? We were messing around with AI music earlier, and it's absolutely insane.
Yeah.
Seriously, take any
Very
song.
crazy.
Guys, I'm going to tell you this right now. Open up Suno, S-U-N-O. Take any MP3 you have. Upload it. Tell it to cover the song, and it'll auto-load the lyrics, and then you can change the style. So you can literally take a Beatles song. You can take Eleanor Rigby, load it up, and say, make a house cover, and it will. And it's nuts. We are going to watch different shows, walk outside. Your neighbor's going to be grabbing, not the newspaper, I guess walking their dog, who knows. And you're going to say, hey, did you catch the latest episode of House? And they're like, House was canceled years ago. Oh, yeah, but I AI generate new episodes you've never seen. What are you going to ask them about?
Yeah.
You'll have nothing in common. You're going to watch your own AI generated football matches.
Well, and it's like you were talking about before with things getting shorter and way less involved and the people scrolling. There's these kids are going to have to figure out what they relate about and what they think is important and how they communicate with each other. Like my son plays video games with his friends online, and they talk on Discord while they're playing, or they talk on the phone while they're playing in-game chat or whatever. And he's managed to coordinate old friends from different places with new friends from, where we live now and stuff. But they managed to find common ground in obscure things that no one else knows about anyway, you know? But like they have their like, what I don't even remember what the name of the new game is that one of his friends was like, we have to play this, and now they're all playing this game. It looks cool.
Maybe,
Keeps showing me
you know,
things
I'm
about it.
thinking about it. The last unifying thing is politics. And it's not unifying us, but there were always two teams. We just never really cared all that much about politics because we were more concerned with what was on the Tonight Show or something like that. Now, because media is completely decentralized, the only thing that we have unifying us is the two parent factions of politics because people in power do not want to give that up and are holding on to it. I wonder if what ends up happening is politics gets decentralized in much the same way, and then you have the two-party system breaking.
What would that look like, decentralized politics?
Just look at how media is today and politics, right? You'll get 7,000 people voting for one party, 7,000 voting for another party, and then we look at the list of, 48,000 different political parties in the U.S. Hey, that one got 1 million votes. They won.
Well, that's what Elon Musk is hoping for. And I know, we were just talking about talking to your neighbors and what do you have in common to talk to your neighbors about these days. I think most people don't even talk to their neighbors anymore. I walk past people I live with in my building and they don't even say hello. And I think that's also adding to this political tension between both sides because we're not communicating with people. We're only communicating online. And I feel like everyone's just completely lost we do have a lot in common with other people. Like, I mean, even though I know we tend to think that Democrats aren't very patriotic, I think that when I do talk to Democrats, they do have a love for our country, and if we have a lane of communication, I think we'd all be able to understand that and be able to talk about that. Phil's looking like, do that.
No, I think we have to break down what you mean by a love for this country.
Yeah, it's
so.
different.
The typical zombified liberal who has no idea what this country is,
Yeah.
I wouldn't say loves this country.
Yeah, I think the moderate Democrat though still does.
I disagree.
Moderate Democrat might.
Yeah.
But I think that most of your actual left-leaning Democrats and further left than Democrats, they don't. They
Yeah.
legitimately hate the
Well,
country.
they're fuming off of hate. for
So
sure.
I'll put it this way: if you loved this country, would you intentionally empower people who are burning the country to the ground? Like if you have a beautiful house and you're like, I love my house. Okay, I love this house.
Yeah.
Would you let people in who are smashing the windows and starting fires?
Well, no, you wouldn't. But here's the other thing, too. I think their algorithm is different than our algorithm, but they don't even see this stuff. I talk to my sisters who don't even agree with me politically on things. And when I'm pointing out things, I mean, even the whole Joe Biden, Ashley Biden diary, they had no idea about any of this. It's like they live in a totally separate world.
Sure. They love the country the way I love watching House. Like,
So-
I've seen a handful of episodes. They're pretty good.
Yeah.
I can't really cite it. I know the name of one actor, Hugh Laurie. But if someone asked me, I'd be like, yeah, I love House. It's a great show.
Yeah.
Okay, name one episode. I don't know any of the titles of the episodes. I don't know any of the actors except for Hugh Laurie. I can't even off the top of my head remember a single episode. Wait, hold on, let me try. No, I can't do it.
I can remember
The magician
single
one.
episode.
The magician one. I don't remember why or how, but a magician threw a card at the wall and tricked House.
Brianna, what would you say to someone that says, look, there was a time where Democrats would say that they love America, right? But nowadays they don't. And then say you were to present evidence like, look at Superman, right? Superman historically had the motto, truth, justice, and the American way. And even up to not the most recent, but the Superman incarnation that was previous to this, right? The Man of Steel. I just watched that the other night. And at the end, the Superman's character says, he's like, I grew up in Kansas. It doesn't get much more American than that. And there are American flags throughout the film, right? That was in the whole film. The American flag is about the most colorful things that you see in the Man of Steel, right? But then in the new one, James Gunn has changed the motto to truth, justice, and the human way.
He never says that though.
He doesn't?
Not in the movie.
Okay, so that's what James Gunn has said in interviews, and I don't know for sure. Tim, you'd know because you've seen it, but I don't think that they have the same kind of love of the American flag and that same kind of image.
I will say I don't recall in the movie him saying anything like that, but the premise of the movie is literally that he stops two countries from going to war, and one of those countries is aligned with the U.S. government. The U.S. government is upset about it, but they don't think he should be charged. They say, well, he's well intentioned, and we don't want to go to war publicly with Superman. So it's I don't know.
Wants to go to war with Superman, but the point being, there was a time where we did, we had these shared ideas and things that we all believed and it was okay to be patriotic and love America. And a character like Superman was thought of as the quintessential American. He grew up in Kansas. He came to America from outer space. He grew up in Kansas. His parents were pro-America. Like, he believed in the American way. And now, the people that are writing Superman, they're trying to make him more of an international thing. He's for all of humanity, et cetera, et cetera.
He's an immigrant.
Yeah, that kind of. I mean, what's your take on that? Do you still think that the people that write these kind of movies and stuff like this kind of fiction?
Wait.
Do you think that they really love America?
I got it. Have you seen Men in Black?
No, I'm not a movie person.
You haven't seen Men in Black?
I love
from 1999 or whatever it's from?
I know. I'm sorry.
I don't
So
think she was
for those
born
that
yet.
are listening,
I was-
the alien comes, crash lands, and then Vincent D'Onofrio's character walks out as a farmer, and it eats him and then puts his skin over his body and walks into the house, and he goes, sugar water. And the wife's like, what? He's like, sugar water. And then she puts sugar in the water and he just slams it. He's like, more. Well, she loves Edgar, right? Just like Democrats love America. So when these disgusting zombified liches wear this country like a skin suit and the moderate liberals can't tell the difference and say, I love America. It's like, that is a Marxist zombie, not America. What they're claiming they love does not actually represent this country.
Yeah, I mean, I don't disagree with that. I think that there's a lot of ignorance on the left, and I don't think that they see it as Marxist. They don't see it their own
But
as
like,
Marxist.
right, like the argument is, Sloth loved Baby Ruth but didn't know what it was either. You know what I mean? So we can certainly recognize that people who are cognitively impaired and don't pay attention can love something. But just like, the stupid child who thinks the baby wolf is a puppy until it grows up, these people are sitting there being like, I don't see any of this stuff. It's like that, remember that Emirates flight that flew straight over Iran during the war? And the meme was, I turned off social media. My mental health has never been better.
Right.
That's what they are. So when they're like, Donald Trump claims Obama was engaged in treason, but he had no evidence. We're sitting here being like, oh my God. Do you literally get your news from memes? And they're like, hey, you're a fascist. Because who did we have on who believed the Very Fine People hoax?
Oh, I remember
journalist.
That video.
That was
I
crazy.
don't remember.
Karen or whatever her name is.
I don't remember that.
I don't
Yeah.
remember what her last name was, but her first name was Tara.
And she was like, wait, Trump never said that. And we were like, holy crap, it's been almost 10 years.
Yeah.
Trump never said that. They still believe it.
Well, I would more so blame Republican messaging. I mean, there's very little outreach. I remember when I graduated high school, for an example, they hit you with a registration form to register to vote. And I just figured that since I'm a female, I've got to just go on the line of Democrats. And it's because Republicans don't have any outreach. I talk to Black Americans all the time, and they don't even realize that they have conservative values. And yet they still have loyalty to a party that doesn't align with their actual beliefs. I think it's a messaging issue that they just keep flopping on.
Do you believe that your average run-of-the-mill Democrat thinks that Black people can't get IDs?
Tough one. I think it's more of a liberal thing. I don't know if it's all of them.
Sonny Hostin
I'd
said
be-
it's a vestige of slavery.
I'd be willing to bet that if you went to New York and asked your average person, they're going to be like, yeah, it's really hard for them.
And they just don't think it through, and they just don't realize how racist that is, and that Black people have driver's licenses and non-driver's IDs and file their taxes and have birth certificates.
So when we say they love this country, I don't know what they love, but when you have I'm not trying to drag her and be a dick because we enjoyed her coming on the show, but this woman is a journalist who lives in Brooklyn, and she believed near 10 years on that Trump called Nazis fine people. So she claims that she's not being biased and she's not a liberal, and it's like, I don't think you understand. You are, the Andrew Breitbart called this default liberal. They have no idea what they're talking about. They don't do the research, and they think they're smart. I'll give a shout out to Jess Margera, who literally tweeted that he was a better journalist than all of the journalists sitting in his pajamas because he uncovered Epstein was funding Pam Bondi, when in fact, all he actually uncovered was aggregate donation listings on Open Secrets. But he's too stupid to realize he's stupid.
Right.
So perhaps they love America, but Dunning-Kruger impairs their ability to make the country work.
Yeah, I mean, so the reporter talking about who lived in Brooklyn. I mean, it's like there's no conservative voices out there that they're ever going to interact with. There's no moderate Republicans that they're going to interact with, likely in Brooklyn, New York.
And as a journalist, there's no reason why they would ever fact check any of these stories.
Because they're not real journalists, yeah, for sure. And I think that's the problem here. But I mean, you were just talking about the algorithm too. It's also tainted. And if you're not an intelligent person who's searching for facts, you're gone.
Thanks for checking out this clip from Timcast IRL. Make sure to watch the show live Monday through Friday at 8 p.m. Subscribe to this channel, and we will see you all there.